Okay guys, let's talk about using our calculator in scientific notation. So first, start with clearing the memory on your calculator. We're going to go through here and we need to change the mode to scientific notation. So we're going to come over to the mode button, which is to the right of the second. And when you press mode, you can see we are flashing on normal. That is what is highlighted right now. So arrow over onto scientific, but make sure you press enter to transfer the highlight over to scientific. And on color calculators, you can see up here, it changes it to scientific up here in the upper left-hand corner. And then we do second quit to go back to the home screen. In a regular OG calculator, same type of thing here. You're going to press mode. You just have less options here, but again, you start in normal mode after you clear the memory. So we arrow over to the right on side and we make sure we press enter to highlight scientific notation there. Again, you press second quit, and then everything here on out is going to be the same between the two calculators. What's cool about scientific notation mode is that whenever you type a number in, when you press enter on the right hand side, it will automatically put it into scientific notation mode. So what you have to note, and put this in your notebook, is it uses E as the times 10. So this is a lowercase, or I'm sorry, it's a capital E that is only used for this scientific notation. So 9,000 is the same as 9 is the leading number times 10 to the third power. And you can go through and you can put in anything you want, however big you want it might be, and it will go through and do that scientific notation mode for you. You might have noticed that this happens naturally in regular mode. If you ever do something that's a really large number multiplied by another really large number, when you press enter, it converts it over to scientific notation mode because it doesn't have the space to put the answer down. So just like scientific notation is used for really big or really small numbers, the calculator also defaults that whenever it can't fit it on the line. Now what's really cool is that we can go through and we can do operations with scientific notation. So we can go through and we can type in something like 62,500 times, I don't know, 90,000, and let the calculator do the work for us to go through and then have it in a scientific notation mode, and it's correct scientific notation, so you don't have to worry about switching it. What you do need to worry about is whenever you're using scientific notation times itself. So the suggestion is to go through and use parentheses. So if you were doing 8.2, like let's just do times 10 to the third, you want to keep this together so you can sort of see like there's one part of scientific notation times another part of scientific notation, so that you can just sort of see how this is separated out here. It is especially essential with division because we know scientific notation is just going to basically multiply, or I'm sorry, with multiplication is basically just going to go across and do multiplication. You know, the order doesn't matter there. But if I was going to take this problem and do division with it, I definitely need to make sure that I have this separated out with parentheses so that we can then see that I wanted all of this in the numerator divided by all of that in the denominator. Because if you forget the parentheses, it's just going to go order from left to right. It will do the 8.2 times to the third, divide by 2.2, get an answer, and then multiply again. And that's not what we intended it to be. So just be careful as you're going through. Go through on your notebook, note that mode button, and then go through and try those examples down at the bottom. Please make sure you're not using E in your final answer. Whenever you go to your answer, again, we can still round to the hundredths for that significant. For like this example, I would make it 3.73 and then times 10 to the negative 6th. Make sure you're not using E in your final answer.